They call me Stutta Boy K Flow Sicker, and this is my continuing vlog series. I had an interesting morning. I woke up to fire alarm because apparently this girl and her man, I don't know if he's her husband or whatever the fuck he is, he was drunk. She told him to get the fuck away. They were screaming back and forth all fucking night. And then at 5 in the morning, he said fuck it and pulled the fire alarm, which woke everybody up. The only way to get those motherfucking alarms off is when the firemen come in and cut it off. So I see you, nigga. I see you. Let's go into DIY. DIY, dope fucking show. I want to say thank you to Brick to Your Face, Lisa J, Noah James, for allowing all of us to be a part of something so fucking magical. The way it was presented this year, Cypher Effect, the B-side show, and have everybody get their own personal, notice to the world that they might not have gotten before. I thought that was so dope because I didn't see that last year or the years prior. I just think every artist brought their fucking shit. Like Matisse Marie, shout out to her. I mean, she literally grinded from the competition to get on, and she put on a hell of a show. And she's very humble and quiet and very peaceful. If you ever talk to her, she's dope. Same thing with the AG. I don't know how many of them there are, but when I saw the 4 on stage, I was like, holy shit. Like, I only usually see the 2, but there's more of them, and they're all dope. Like, they're all lyrical. Mutual respect, it's mutual love. I think they're dope. We got to collab on something because you guys are dope. Seeing Stone Sober, who I've gotten to know over the years, Cam Archer being introduced to me from James, and meeting Kid Dryden back then when we were both booked on the same bill, and him wanting to work with me and all this shit, to see all that evolve into us all being on DIY, awesome. Shout out to Fitz Taylor, man, who we have a lot in common and growing up, and I think that's why we're so cool with each other, is because we see a lot of the same shit. We grew up with a lot of the same shit. Therefore, it's like this mutual understanding and respect. He put on a hell of a show. I'm not trying to forget anybody. I'm just recapping in my mind. Seeing Hard Work and Young Miss and Pterodactyl Jones and fucking RGC and us as Uproar Nation and Cipher and Dirty Birdie and Dr. Stank and Diamonique and all these fucking legends, i.e. legends that I grew up watching that demo like a mixtape or something that popped up in your fucking hand. Like I ended up with the Outskirts playing basketball at Boardwalk Park on the east side of Riverside. Like, and then all of a sudden someone was like, hey man, you fuck with hip hop and bump that Outskirts. And I'm, and this is Cipher as part of Outskirts back then, and then hearing Diamonique and then them performing the song off that mixtape. And like it's fucking crazy to know the history, and then like having Dr. Stank tell me after the fact that he remembers when I was like, waist high, 7 years old at my dad's barber shop, and me growing up seeing him always go to the studio made me want to rap. Like, to see them pursue that made me want to do music back then. So seeing how I remember meeting King Dice when he was just doing Juicebox, and that he heard about me through James Barcelou. Shout out to James Barcelou. He was my manager back then, and he put the seed in his ear. He was like, you're dope, and this, and then I told him, when I first heard him rap, I was like, we need to collab. Sure enough, we collabed on his album at Mahogany Drive. Y'all need to get that if you don't have it already. I was on the stage with them, when everybody was on the stage with them doing Yahtzee, I was like, man, we got to both do Fuck Off and Yahtzee on the DIY stage at the Glass House, and we both premiered the song in the San Bernardino at the Garage Inc. over a year ago. And now knowing like that, to see that progression is crazy to me, because who would have thought, that these 2 songs that I remember quite clearly that night, that's awesome. And I just think it's amazing that all these artists came together, did their thing at the Glass House. Triz, shout out to Triz. Like I said, I didn't know how dope of a live performance he had until I saw him that night. He fucking killed it, man. And Verbs and everybody. Like I said, I don't want to forget everybody. It's just there was a lot of artists and there was a lot going on. But all these artists on the DIY 2014 fucking killed it. I'm gonna move on. All right, I'm gonna give you guys advice on how I got noticed on the scene when I first started. Um, James Barcelou, who again I said was my former manager, um, he told me, "Have you heard of the Common Ground?" 2010 actually. He said, "Have you ever heard of the Common Ground?" I said, "No." He said, "It's at the Vibe in Riverside, which is right down the street from where we work." He's like, "I already got you booked, but we're gonna go a week prior, and you're gonna do the open mic." I said, "Cool." We went, did that. Uh, Fast forward a week later, performed, did my set, killed it. Noah pulls me over, says, "You fucking killed that shit. You're gonna be on more Common Ground shows. I'm gonna book you for more shit. You're dope." I said, "I appreciate it." Started trying to build a name for myself, and I started doing shows, and I took the Yes Man approach. If you have not seen the movie Yes Man, watch it. It's dope. But the whole concept of the movie is not saying no to any opportunity. So what would happen is people would go, "Man, you should be doing more shows." I was like, "I agree." They go, "You know what? I got the show coming up. You should do it." All right. And then before you know it, another show. They were like, "Hey, you should do this show." All right. And before I knew it, I would not say no to any performance. So I took that approach, and then it got me noticed by the right people. I just started performing as much as I could. Before you know it, I was doing a lot of shows, and it was kind of hard not to see Stutter Boy on flyers, because that was the approach I wanted to take, and I said I had a goal set, and I did what I did, and it got me noticed by the right people. That is the advice I give to you. If you can, make it to the Common Ground. Common Ground, awesome, a lot of love there. Learn. It happens on Sunday nights at the Vibe in Riverside. I don't know if they're doing it every Sunday or if they're still doing the first and third, but they're still dope. Find out about it. I'm sure you can find out about the Common Ground. It's dope. Learn from Noah James and Lisa J. They love to share knowledge, and if you're willing to take it, they will give you more knowledge. If you are closed-minded, don't even bother wasting your time, because it's a waste of time. But if you're actually open to learning, talk to Lisa J. Talk to Noah James. Brick to your face. Much love. Also, do every show that you could possibly do. Stay relevant. Stay up on your social media game, since social media seems to be the biggest thing right now. Stay up on that, and make sure people know who you are. Put out a quality product. Put out good music. Don't just put out anything. Put out good music. Recording tips, I could say the way it works for me is I will literally record one verse at least 40 times. One verse 40 times. So just because I want different inflections, different sounds, trying different things, trying to figure out how it works, what doesn't work, flipping it. I usually don't say the same thing twice. I'll even add words, take away words, change this, whatever. And I do it for 40 takes and one dope verse. So that's my advice. Best I can give. Everybody's different. I know people that can do shit in one take, make it sound awesome in one take. But like I said, for me, I was told by a teacher of mine when I was going to musicians. I was going to the Musicians Institute of Hollywood, and he told me the best artists always push themselves to be greater, even in their recording. And then he said, for instance, Eminem. He says, "I guarantee you, Eminem does not just record one verse straight through. I guarantee you, Eminem put bits and pieces together to get the best possible recording ever. Certain inflections, emphasize certain words, put certain energy in it that you just can't do in one take. It's not possible." So when he said that to me, it made so much more sense. So I learned from that, and I use it in everything now, like bits and pieces together to get the best possible take for me. And that's my only recording tip I can give you, because everybody records differently. I usually record either with paper, scratch paper, or I will type out lyrics and then I will print them just so I can get a clearer thing, because I usually, when I rap or when I write, it's in chicken scratch so nobody else can read it. I will say this as an artist, never stick to the format all the time. Sometimes you just might need to go on the fly, improvise, change up things. Just, whatever your ear is telling you, follow your ear, trust your ear. So that's my recording tips for you. I'm also working on a project right now. It's a mixtape called AR-16s. AR-16 is broken down as an acronym. A is my name, Andy. R is Robinson, which is my last name. And 16s are usually what raps are written in 16 bar verses. Like the weapon AR-16s, I wanted to then give you a mixtape where I said my words are weapons. So it's AR-16s is a representation of me saying my words are weapons. So since I couldn't make it my rap name, I figured why not make it a mixtape, right? I'm also working on more DIY footage that I'm going to release next week. I also just released the DIY behind the scenes with Uproar at rehearsal. The whole purpose of all of it is to get more exposure because I feel like as artists, people don't necessarily get to know who you are by just a song, or they don't necessarily get to know who you are by seeing you perform somewhere. Sometimes people want to know and need to get to know you in order to even buy into you or invest into you. And that's the whole goal of all this, is I want people to actually get to know us as artists. They're gonna buy into who you are because they want to know who you are as fans. Next week I will be releasing the DIY footage of the actual DIY. Again, shout out to Brick to Your Face. My whole take on it, there's already footage out there. But and there's better footage than mine. But my take on it is I just wanted people to see where I thought it was interesting. My different perspective on this whole thing as far as what I think about when I see artists perform, or what this means to be a part of, and how big it is, and why I made such a big deal about everything, even to what clothes I wore, because I want people to know how big of a deal it is. It's a big fucking deal to not have things like Pay Dues and Rock the Bells this year, and then have something that is IU based to that point, and that you know what it can grow and become. DIY Fest could be just as big as Pay Dues and Rock the Bells. Shit, it can even become a tour where DIY Fest is all over the fucking country. I just think that's amazing to me as an artist, as a fan of hip hop, that things like this, that to this nature, to be a part of. Awesome. And that's my whole point to doing any of this, is to get people to understand that us as artists aren't just rappers. We're people that have bills. We're people who have girlfriends and boyfriends and stress and all these things, lives. You have families, you have things where you can joke. Sometimes you just don't feel like doing all this shit, and people can relate to that. But you know, they don't get to see that with a 16 bar verse, or a whole song, or you know, whatever you decide to share them in a music video. They want to get to know you, therefore they can say, well, I feel where he's coming from and we relate. Like Curtis King told me, they don't always buy into you. Most of the time, fans aren't buying into the artist's music, they're buying into the artist themselves. So that's the whole point of this. And I feel like that's what I was doing with this DIY documentary. I just want people to buy into us as artists. And hopefully that is tucking well. And hopefully it grows more. Like, I'm not the greatest videographer. The footage wasn't the greatest. I just did work with what I got, and that's all I can do. That's all I can do. I'm Stutta Boy, aka Flow Sicka. I got that name back in the day for fucking up a lot. Originally known as Anwan Nigarachi. Anwan Nigarachi turned into Anarchy the Assassin. I would record with a particular dude, and me and him didn't mesh well. He was always about his one takes, and I was like, well, shit, I can't do one take. Like, I need multiple takes, and they were usually never the same. So he would go like, oh, I'm so-and-so, also known as one take. And then I was like, well, fuck it, I'm 100 takes. And then at some point I was like, I'm fucking Stutta Boy. It just came out. It's like Stutta Boy. This dude that I know that's like family to me, he passed away in 05. But Tajor, he would record with us, and we used to hang out at RCC, and he was like, man, Stutta Boy, I like that name. And he just started calling me Stutta Boy because he couldn't pronounce Anarchy. So he was like, Stutta Boy. And then I was like, should I just go by Stutta Boy? And he was like, yeah, you should, because I can't pronounce Anarchy. Like, and I was like, well, okay. And then I sat there, I was on the shitter, just couch, wherever I was going. I would just, in the parking lot at work, I would just sit there and go. And then I would write it down, and I was like, how should I spell it? Instead of having it as B-O-Y, why not B-O-I-I? You know, because I got Big Boy from Outkast. I'm a big fan of Outkast. Instead of just making it like Big Boy, make it my own way. B-O-I-I. And the two eyes represent two eyes, meaning watch, to see. I figured, why not make it that spelling? It's very unique, you know. I mean, granted, it's been fucked up many times on all the flyers I've been on before, but the whole point of it was to be unique, and I think it's dope to be unique in this game because whoever million out there rapping. So yes, Stutta Boy aka Flow Sicka. Flow Sicka is a alias or a different mentality of me. It was like Stutta Boy's the real side of me. Flow Sicka was the bragging side. Stutta Boy would be me trying to be more like Nas. Flow Sicka would be me bragging like Ho. I don't like to brag, but when I do brag, just know that's probably the Flow Sicka side of me. Stutta Boy side is more the serious, you know, antisocial. This was my life growing up in hotels, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, in closing, I just want to keep doing this vlog thing. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm gonna try to do it every Sunday. Hopefully you enjoy and buy into it. Get to know me more. I get to know you more. Also, email me, text me, comment on the comments below your questions, and I'll try to answer them the next time around. And we'll keep doing this. And then even I'll try to build it more to other things. I have other things coming too. I have other ideas coming, growing up. But for now, the vlog is the staple, the start, and then from there I'm gonna just keep building up. So I'm doing a lot of shit, if you could tell. Like, I'm trying to get back into beat making, video editing, all this shit, and potentially even music videos. But for now, I just want to learn, and I'm just learning. I'm in a process of learning and absorbing. So shout out to you, blessings to you. They call me Stutta Boy aka Flow Sicka. You've just been fucked to constantly have something going on for yourself. What the hell called me, Patrick? Hello? You called? What happened? Yeah, I hoop at they hoop at 6:15. They said on Sundays. Huh?